By becoming the first black woman to run for president in 1972, Shirley Chisholm broke down barriers and changed American politics. She strongly supported the underprivileged and urged a coalition of women, minorities, and youth to challenge the country's limited leadership vision. Chisholm's audacious campaign, despite fierce opposition, reshaped American politics and cleared the path for future leaders. You want to be President of the United States. But why, Mrs. Chisholm? The direction this nation is taking worries me, so I want to be President of the United States. Do you believe that a black woman president is something America is ready for? I often consider the potential legacy of Chisholm. Simply put, her legacy is that she paved the way. How does that sound? What exactly is meant by paving the way? Though proud to be black, I am not Black America's candidate. This country's women's movement does not have me as its candidate, but I am equally proud to be a woman. I am the American people's candidate. Chisholm wanted to be known as a black woman who dared to be herself, not as the first black woman to run for president of the United States. She was deemed excessively combative. They said she believes she is an expert. Why didn't she say anything? They asked. This is the only black woman in Congress, and these men are treating her as if she doesn't exist, I used to think. Her being a black woman was not the only reason why the mainstream Democratic Party did not want her to run. She was viewed as an annoyance since she embodied the progressive ideals of the Democratic Party. When I first came to prominence in politics 20 years ago, they said I was insane, so let them keep thinking I'm crazy. I don't plan on just sitting quietly and watching, she said. She stated that I intend to draw attention to the issues facing the country. She would advise feminists that we cannot elect a woman without the cooperation of all these coalitions, which entails working together, particularly with the poor, indigenous people, and Hispanic people. Her travels and fluency in Spanish exemplified the coalition-building elements she believed were crucial. The nominee wasn't well known back then, in contrast to conventions today where they are. Hubert Humphrey and George McGovern were the two front-runners. I'll give you my delegates if you agree to the XYZ condition, Chisholm had a real chance to say. A black Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, an indigenous person as Interior Secretary, and a female vice president were the positions she was going to push for at that point. She was urging these delegates to vote for her on the first ballot since she knew she wouldn't win. That way, we would have power. Please make the most of your one vote to get these candidates to respond to us genuinely. They loved all she said, but she couldn't get enough people to change their votes. They wanted to vote for the winner, even though they believed she was the best candidate. The votes McGovern needed to win came from Illinois. It truly hurt her when the coalition failed to unite. Many people are unaware that Shirley Chisholm was a compassionate person. I have witnessed her sob countless times in private. White political leaders are allowed to be fully themselves, but African American women's significant contributions are severely limited. Because you don't have to be a real human being, it's easy to fall for the myth of the strong black woman. That didn't mean they weren't human and experienced the same emotions as others. It didn't mean they didn't get tired. She immediately returned to Congress and intensified her efforts to improve people's lives. Being fearless, she told me that you must get inside whatever you're doing to alter the rules. Remember that they weren't created for you or me. We must include others in the process. Therefore, you must genuinely shake things up. You cannot go along to get along. He was a radical, Chisholm. Her actions were revolutionary. Chisholm did that before Barack Obama formed this coalition of youth, minorities, and people he believes are marginalized and excluded from the public enterprise. This coalition building allowed us to elect the first African American president, repeat Camelot's habits, and elect many African American women to Congress. Shirley Chisholm made black women's strength known. Many would have written her off for the things she did. I reflect on how frequently I was counted out. That was not possible. What she made sure to emphasize was what she knew she had, rather than what other people could see in her. But more important than whether America is ready for me as president, in my opinion, is to start preparing the country for the fact that it is time for people other than white men to run for the nation's top job. Although women will eventually lead this nation, black people will lead it for a while. That's the main point of this.